Hello students, welcome back to your history class. Today we are going to do question number 9 and there are two more questions, 10 and 11. Question number 9 is about the education and literature under the feudalism in the Middle Ages. Question number 10 is the progress that was made in art and architecture. And finally, question number 11 is the importance of feudalism or importance of Middle Ages. So we start with question number 9. So now this really doesn't have any subtopics. We're talking about education and literature itself. So we can go back to the questions because there are no subtopics to this question. So education is basically, in education you must write that the barbaric invasions did lots of harm to the Roman educational system. Charlemagne was unlettered, but he left no stone unturned for the spread of education. He established a school in his palace for the sons of the nobles. Cathedrals and parish churches rendered useful services in the field of education through schools attached to them. The craft guides imparted training in various practical crafts. Education was looked upon as a means of getting a better position in the church and the state. The foundation of the famous universities of Europe, that is Oxford, Cambridge, Salerno, Bologna, these were laid in the Middle Ages. Different universities had specialized in different subjects. Students came to study theology and philosophy in the University of Paris, to study medicine in the University of Salerno, and to study law in the University of Bologna. There were no buildings. The students sat on the floor and received education from their teachers. The university in the Middle Ages was a sort of guild of students and teachers. The University of Paris had 4 faculties: arts, law, medicine, and theology. Each was under the charge of a dean. The students received the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Master of Arts, Doctor of Law, Doctor of Medicine. The person getting the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, that is PhD, were regarded as great scholars. Students studied in the university mainly to prepare for a career rather than to merely acquire culture. Arithmetic, geometry, astronomy, music, grammar, rhetorics, and logic were the main subjects of study. So, according to Dr. J.E. Swen, the university played an important role not only in establishing the culture of the Middle Ages, but also in paving the way for the cultural development of the latter periods. And then we talk about literature. So Latin remained the language of learning, culture, civilization, and of the churches, the universities, and the scholars right up till 1000 AD. Outstanding writers such as Guibert Magnus, Thomas Aquinas, and Roger Bacon wrote in Latin. Later, on vernacular languages such as French, Italian, English, Spanish, German, Romanian, and Dutch, etc. They developed and gradually replaced Latin as the medium of expression. This resulted in the production of rich literature in vernaculars. Dante wrote his Divine Comedy, and Petrarch wrote sonnets, and Boccaccio his tales in the Italian language. Chaucer, the father of English poetry, wrote Canterbury Tales in English. 10 books of Frankish history, Life of Charlemagne, The Conquest of Constantinople, History of the English Nation, are the notable historical works produced in the Middle Ages. That means the literature was so rich. These are the most beautiful books. About the importance of the vernacular languages, Dr. J. E. Swen observes that the vernacular languages provided an impromptu element for political unity in the national state. The rise of the national state is one of the most significant developments in the modern history. Now we'll talk about the progress that was made in the field of art and architecture under feudalism or Middle Ages. The Romanesque and the Gothic styles of architecture developed during the Middle Ages. The Romanesque had its origin in the Roman style, and it lasted up to the end of 12th century. And the cathedral at Pisa, the Church of San Ambrogino in Milan, the Church of San Miniato in Florence are the best specimens of this style. Thick walls, massive pillars, square doors, small windows, circular arcs, and simple decorations are the main features of the Romanesque style. The pointed arc, pointed and ridged roofs, flying buffaloes, the rose windows, and elaborate decorations are the chief features of the Gothic style. Great style was laid on both beauty and massiveness. The Cathedral of Paris, Milan, New York, and London are the best examples of Gothic style. The churches built according to the Gothic style were decorated with statues, paintings, colored glass windows, carved woodwork, candlesticks, vessels of gold and silver. Sculptors of the Middle Ages used religious subjects to decorate the cathedrals. They produced fine statues in wood, stone, marble, and ivory in different poses. Medieval sculptures were graceful and impressive. A nude statue of the boy David and the young angels are remarkable examples of the medieval sculptures. Though the painters did not ignore the religious subjects, but they favored the secular subjects like landscapes, hunting scenes, tournaments, etc. Duccio and Giotto are outstanding painters of this period. Beauty, light, vivid coloring, simplicity are the special features of the paintings of the Middle Ages. The Renaissance painters were later on gently influenced by the work of Giotto. Now we'll talk about the importance of the Middle Ages. Question 11. The people under the feudalism in the Middle Ages were illiterate, ignorant, and superstitious, but their contributions to the world, culture, and civilization can neither be ignored nor underestimated. The seeds of the modern age were sown in the Middle Ages. It left rich legacy in the fields of art and architecture, education, language, literature, and science. It laid the foundation of national states, democracy, and money economy. Professor M. Violet writes, "What we are in great measure because of the Middle Ages. They are alive all around us." The Middle Ages were thus fertile and creative, and laid many of the foundations of the present day civilization in Europe and America. Similarly, Hayes, Moon, and Wavell writes, when we take into account all the contributions of the Middle Ages to a modern world, music, architecture, literature, law, medicine, as well as idea and practices of government and diplomacy, we must conclude that most of the foundations of the present day civilizations in Europe and America were laid in the era from 11th to 14th century. J. E. Squain says that the Middle Ages can be called truthfully the formative period of modern history. Many of the things that we accept as modern had their origin in them. Our religion, philosophy, education, science, language, art, and government, all the born in the Middle Ages through long process of development, they grew out of the period, they were not typical of it. Their appearance marked the beginning of modern times. So with this, I'm going to end because now next is map work and I want you all to have that map with you all and mark the following and keep ready. In important countries, you will mark. So I've told you all to arrange for a political map of the world. So you will keep at least 2 to 3 copies of these ready because we will be doing at least 2 practices before the main examination. One will be the next class, one will be next week. So the countries that you have to mark on those are England, Spain, Portugal, Austria, then the important cities and towns that you will mark would be London, Paris, Saint Denis, Madrid, Vienna, Rome. And you will also be marking a few seas and oceans. Atlantic Ocean, North Sea, Baltic Sea, Mediterranean Sea. Okay. So out of these, I can ask you all to mark any 5 on your main map. Map work will come from this particular chapter only. To keep this ready, you have these marked in your textbook on page 133. Okay, so next class you will need your textbooks and your map book with you. With this I end today's class and we have finished all the question and answers of all the 4 chapters. So next week onwards, we will do thorough revision. So please be prepared. Keep your notebooks handy, keep your textbooks handy. Start marking, start writing notes, start making abbreviations, write your points, because I will ask you questions which are not necessarily the ones that I have told you about. I can twist and ask the same question. You should be very confident on your answer. With this, I end today's class. Stay home, stay safe, take care, and keep learning. Thank you.